Uh,
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Who knows, right, everyone?
yes.
So, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time and coming to be part of our presentation. So, we are here to talk to you a little bit about um, the great things about coming to the U.S. and study here. So, let me start introducing myself to you. I'm Christina Stark. I am the Director of International Affairs at New Mexico Military Institute. I am the designated school official with the CVIS, so I assist all the students with all the CVIS issues or, let's say, opportunities. I was born and raised in Brazil, and I've been international student myself. So I stayed here in the country for a couple of years. Then I went back to Brazil, and I've been back to the U.S. for 15 years now. I came to work, and here I am. I have a bachelor's degree in education and a master's degree in psychology. Have now here in the United States over 15 years of experience with international education, and I've hosted many international students, which is always super exciting for me. We learn so much from everybody. And also, I've developed many programs at our school just to benefit our international students. So I'll now pass it on to Ms. Mei Shi.
Hi, thank you so much, Christina, Miss Stark. I have the pleasure of being the co-presenter with Miss Stark, and I'm just so excited to be here. I'm the executive director of Office of Global Education at Mississippi College. We call it MC, and you know where Mississippi is, right? So it's east of New Mexico, and
Yeah.
it's between Alabama and Arkansas and Louisiana, and the north we border in Tennessee. We're in deep south, and I have been working in higher education for the last 25 years. I'm older than uh, Ms. Stark, obviously, and and also international education. I've been doing international education for the last 21 years. I was a former international student too. Many decades ago, I came to the United States, attend a huge state university, and so working at Mississippi College is really a pleasure for me. I don't get lost in the shuffle, and I make sure that I don't let my students get lost in the shuffle too, either, because I went through that, been there, done that, and I know what, just like Ms. Stark, um, uh, we know what our international students go through. And so I do the same thing as Ms. Stark. I oversee um, all the operations in a typical international office. So I oversee the recruitment and admission, enrollment, international students, scholars services, F1J1, advisement, and so on. And there's never a dull moment. And I
That is,
enjoy it and I love it.
yes. International education is definitely very exciting,
Yeah.
not only for us as
Mhm.
the officers in charge of this amazing group of young men and women that come, but also for the students. There's so much there for them, isn't there?
That's right.
Okay. So, what we'll cover today, it will go through the application process. We're all talking about the pandemic now, maybe a little bit less than before, but how do we adapt to the new normal? How can you prepare yourself to come and study in the US and be successful? How to take advantage of all the opportunities? So, as an international student, you have your own journey. So, it has to be unique. It has to be something that is just yours because you are unique. All of us, we are all unique, and this has to be special. It has to be a very stress-free journey. I understand that there's so much that you have to do prior to coming, prior to being accepted, but it has to be something that you have pleasure, that you enjoy doing. So my recommendation is start as soon as possible. Do your homework. So research many places, the areas you would like to study, and much more. We'll go into details to that. Make sure that you have, whenever you contact a school, that you have an advisor that will guide you, that will give you a one-on-one guidance, somebody that you can reach out at any time. Think about your trajectory, about the programs that you would like to take to be part. Another beautiful thing about the US education is that there's so much flexibility, much different than in some countries. Brazil, for example, that when you decide you want to go into a certain area, you have a certain major. When you declare your major, there's no coming back. You cannot simply say, oh, no, I changed my mind. Now I'm going to do something else. No, you can't. Or you would have to restart the whole program. Here in the United States, it's absolutely different. The flexibility of being able to try different things, if you're not so sure about what your major, what you want to do. Think about all the opportunities you might have at the school that you attend, employment opportunities, on campus opportunities, so you can work. And also, you think about the possibilities of internship and even about employability once you are done.
Okay. And so first thing we talk about admission, right? And every day I receive different email or WhatsApp, and students will ask us, how should I start, and all that. I said, just like Ms. Stark said, you do your homework beforehand. Okay, so you think about location. Where do you want to go? Maybe you have a relatives in some cities that you want to save money by living with them, or you like particular city. And some of the students, they did exchange students exchange. They came to the United States as exchange students, so they want to go back to where they used to study in high school, or something like that. And do you like a huge university, state-run university, or you want to go to a smaller school, and then you don't fall through the cracks, and people know your name when you walk on campus, and then you have a good relationship with your international office. And do you, of course, everybody's looking at the costs. You want to go to a best value university that you get excellent programs, but also at the same time it's affordable. The tuition is affordable, and also you want to go to a place that offers a lot of scholarships, right? And so scholarships, you can have grants and scholarship, and if you really don't have these resources, then you go um, to the way of getting a loan. But we prefer, I mean, as international students, we always prefer to find a school that offers very good, generous scholarships. And also now, on the side of saving money, sometimes, well, many times nowadays, a lot of students like to go to a community college simply because the cost is less and you can save more money. And then you study 2 years, and then you transfer to a 4-year university, and you still get to graduate from a 4-year university, but then you save the money at the front end. So some students prefer that because they feel like the first 2 years you're taking core courses anyway, so why not save some money? And so, and also a lot of community colleges, and they have a good relationship with the 4-year universities. So they have the 2+2 program, and all that. So the students can easily transfer to a 4-year university. That's another route to go. And also safety issue is very big. Many times my students' parents will always ask us, is Mississippi College safe? Is MC safe? And so I have worked in 5 US universities. And I can tell you, Mississippi College, where I'm working, is the safest campus. I mean, I'm a workaholic, so a lot of times I work until 11 p.m. Or midnight, and when I get out, I never have to worry about, being mugged or anything, because it's just one beautiful and safe campus. So the safety is very important. That's something that you want to look into. And student support placement. Does this particular school offer enough student supports? Because I went to a state university, and then because the school has 7,000 international students, and the total student population is 42,000. So we, as one of the 7,000 international students, we kind of just got lost in the shuffle, and we didn't even know. I mean, I know who our international office director is because she signed my I-20, but I never got to meet her or talk to her, or because she's very busy. She had to deal with so many international students, and some of the big universities, they have to outsource their international office because they just can't handle that many international students. So do they have a good support system? It's very important, and that you should look into. And and also you check whatever field of study you want to go into, and also the school. You look at the ROI, the return on investments. You spend a lot of money, and then were you able to be able to recoup the money that you spend, and your parents' money too. So that these are all very important factors that you need to consider. And then the next slide. Thank you so much. So after you consider all these, take all these factors into consideration, then you said, okay, I decided I'm going to, I have a collection of, let's say, 4 universities, and I'm going to apply. Now, if the university, one of the 4 universities, or these universities said, well, we can waive your application fee. A lot of times students ask me, well, will you waive application fees? And my answer is yes, especially during COVID-19 period. And it's really tough on everybody. Now, the regular time, some people say, well, if you cannot afford paying application fee, how can you afford the tuition? But that's a different story, because when students nowadays, we know the students apply to different universities. So if every university, they have to pay anywhere from $50 to $100, or some schools even more expensive for application fees, and they do add up. So I understand that.
Let me
Yeah,
just make a remark here.
right.
I'm reading the slides, and as you can see, what are the application requestments? Forget that word. I was thinking about request requirement, so it is requirement. I
Uh-huh,
apologize.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Thank you for your input. Yeah. So so when you apply, usually, you check into it and see what and any, this particular university, what the requirements are. And so usually for undergraduate students, the requirement is easier. Is usually just they need your GPA score, and your test score, the language proficiency score, and some the recommendation letters usually is for graduate school, but for some schools, undergraduate program, they also ask for recommendation letters. But usually, the graduate school asked for recommendation, 3 letters of recommendation letter. Our university, for undergraduate students, MC just asked for a the um, the test score. Either you can do IELTS, you can do TOEFL, and nowadays during the pandemic, you can do Duolingo. You can take the test at home. So it will be easier and cheaper, and the time is shorter. So many of our students have done Duolingo too. Um, and then we just need, our application fee is usually $50, but right now we waived the fee. And so interviews, sometimes students said, well, I don't have time to take the exam, the language proficiency exam, but I took enough English classes, or my classes are conducted in English. So then I said, okay, well, I give you benefit of doubt, and I interview you. And when I talk to you through Zoom, Skype, and then pretty much I can tell your English proficiency, or at least the verbal part. And then we will also ask students to submit written essay too. And down payment, some of the schools ask for, well, I think majority of the universities ask for down payment or deposit, another term. We used to ask for $250 deposit, but now we don't ask students to put down deposits. So you just go ahead and apply. And the turnaround time, the wait time usually for undergraduate students, you need to look at the turnaround time too. For Mississippi College, the turnaround time for undergraduate students usually is about two weeks, and then for graduate students about give and take 4 weeks, because graduate programs, we have to go through 2 steps. First step is to come to my office, and when I approve it and I send it to the department has a committee, admission committee, and they have to go over it, and then once they approve, and they send it to the CRM system, and then we then you get approved. So you go through 2 steps. But undergraduate students, they just come directly to me, and once I approved it, and you're done. And so it takes less time. And so the transition, if students want to transfer um, to our university, either from, recently we have a lot of students transferred from community college to us, and they're honor students too, and so they get scholarships. So we offer scholarship to transfer students too. They get really good scholarship, and so we provide all kinds of help to our transfer students too, and they have their organization. So a lot of support system for them. And then orientation, students come, we always give them 2 orientation. And the first orientation, when they first come, when they're still suffering jet lag, and and some of them, not used to sitting in a English lecture hall or something. So they're still not quite, they couldn't get all the information. And then 3 weeks into the semester, we have another one. And at that time, and we ask students to come to us with questions. At that time, they already had start running into different challenges and questions and all that. And then we give another solid orientation to the students.
Well, that's great. As you can see, there are so many opportunities and so much flexibility in times of COVID. So it's
Yeah.
not all bad. Take advantage of that, right?
Right. Right.
So, when you think about COVID-19, the pandemic, it really changed our lives forever. I think we'll never be the same. There's a new normal out there. So we had to consider many things. At the time, like last year, when the whole pandemic started, all of our international students at our institution, at New Mexico Military Institute, they all remained on campus,
Mm.
but they were taking online classes because all the in-person classes were suspended. So after that, we started our fall semester, and we have been offering in-person classes ever since. But a lot of students were a little concerned. Should I defer my enrollment to next fall? And we saw that. So we seem to see an increasing number of applications coming through, but a lot of them were the ones that we had already accepted last fall, and they deferred to this semester, this fall. Many are considering, should I take a gap year? So there's so many things to be considered. And again, as I said, there's so much flexibility now. So um, application fees are being waived. You have the opportunity to take the English proficiency test, and many different with many different companies. In the past, I believe that TOEFL and IELTS were like the main one. Now there's so many others, and even TOEFL and IELTS, they are finding ways of adapting to the new reality. So many of you have reported that embassies were closed. So what do you do? We sent a lot of letters to different embassies and asked for their support. Of course, some can do, others can't, but you just have to keep checking every day. And we were very surprised with the amount, with the percentage of our students that were able to come and they were able to get a visa appointment. So when you come, how do you do? How are the schools prepared to accept and welcome the students? There's so many protocols in place. At NMMI, for example, every student that arrived, we had orientation online last semester, and every student that arrived for matriculation was screened and tested. We had enough rooms to keep everybody in isolation until we received the results, and it was very fast. So once the results were in, we had a couple, I believe from 900 students, we have about 16 that were positive. So they were isolated. We have an infirmary that's like a mini hospital. So they were all placed there and they were monitored with doctors and nurses 24/7, and everybody was well. So once they were COVID free, they were able to go back and join the other, the Corps of Cadets. As a military school, we call them cadets. So now our campus, we say it's closed. Everybody that wants to visit, they have to make an appointment. So we screen everybody. So we make sure that everybody is safe. The school has invested so much in so many different equipments to make sure that everybody is safe. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, that is very similar to our university. We never had any breakouts of virus because we have a very stringent and very strict rules for students to behave. And also we even canceled our fall break and spring break. So when
We did the
other
same.
schools in spring break, they go out and party and go to
Yeah.
South Beach, Florida, Florida, and all that. We only give one day. That was a spring break day.
Yes.
So and then we put it on Tuesday, so students cannot make that into a long weekend. So strategically, we made that so the students all stay on campus and play catch up with their study. So which was a good thing. So after spring break, we didn't have any breakout, nothing. Outbreak, I should say. No,
Yes.
no outbreak of virus. And then
Hmm.
so the and
Yeah.
we have all the, yeah, we also have a special dorm. You have infirmary, we have a special dorm that house, and then we do random
Hmm.
COVID checking, testing, random testing among students, faculty, and staff. So sometimes
Yes.
it's just like we receive emails like, oh, today you have to go in and check and see.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
That's
also now we offer free vaccine on campus now. So
hmm
everybody gets vaccines. Students got all excited. They say, oh, well, this summer we can go home to visit relatives since we get vaccinated. And yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
it's strict.
yes, we at our school, and we are a state school, so the state of New Mexico require that all the athletes, because they were playing, they were going out, and their season is happening, they have to be tested 3 times a week. So the school
Mhm.
has purchased all the equipment to be able to test them 3 times a week. So, and as you
Mhm.
said, we also have random testing for our students, staff, and faculty. And if
Mhm.
anybody feels like, oh, I don't know, I'm not feeling well, you can always go to the infirmary and request a test, and
Mhm.
it will
Right.
happen. As you can see, there's so many different colleges and universities in the United States. In our
Mhm.
case, for example, we are a full boarding school, so everybody that attends an MMI has to live on campus. We do not allow them to not live on campus. So, as I was saying, students who were already here, some did not go back home for summer, stayed around. So, we have families uh, in the community that will welcome our international students and keep them. We had families that kept a student that couldn't go home for 6 months. So, and also the others that were coming to the United States, we allowed in the fall some of our students to take online classes. So, from all 900 students that we had, only 6 were taking online classes. Everybody else report to campus. We follow the CDC guidelines. So, it's very important that we all follow the protocols. All of our students wear masks. We observe social distancing. We have to be careful. I would
Mhm.
say that more than half of our campus is already vaccinated, so people feel a little bit more comfortable, but
Mhm.
everybody's still following, wearing masks and following everything.
Mhm.
So, as I was talking about before, we were talking about the opportunities that are offered to international students. So many international students um, go to different schools and they have the opportunity of having on campus housing or off campus. You know, some of us adapt more to maybe at first we need a little bit more of um, structured environment. So to be on campus, so you can really learn how to navigate the campus you're in. Even though our campuses are not huge ones, but still there's so much to learn. It's very different. You have the dining facilities, so you can have your meals on campus, but also you can order food or you can go out if you want to. And among the services that we offered, that our schools offer, it's like airport pickup. A lot of students were coming. How do we go about, all the questions about COVID? So we made sure that we had uh, vans that would pick individual students. And as I said, we kept social distancing and the use of masks. It's mandatory on our campus. So, as I said, everybody arrived on our campus. Everybody was tested. We, as staff and the faculty, we go through screening every day. Some at first there was a need for some quarantine. Now it's a little bit more relaxed, so there's no need for so unless there is a positive test. So then you have to be in isolation. We do have health services on our campus. As I said, 24 hours, 7 days a week, nurses and doctors available. The pandemic has taken a toll on all of us. So we do offer counseling services. Sometimes there's this anxiety of not knowing what's coming next, what's going to happen. So we do offer counseling services and also shopping services. Well, there are times you need to go some places you're not familiar with. You just got here, so we'll guide you. We'll offer you the services, and also we are offering in some cases, at first, classes on a hybrid model, especially when we considered we had to reorganize everything, including the space in the classroom. So we had to change classrooms. There were like 16 students. So we rearranged everything and we would have different groups coming, 8 at a time. So the ones that were not in the classroom at that specific day would be taking online classes, participating online. So many adjustments were made to assist our students and make sure that everybody felt safe. Now, we had on campus, we still have on campus employment. So, what did we do? We continue with our on campus employment and we allowed our students, following the safety guidelines, to continue to work. Again, I guess I'm repeating myself here. We had everything to make sure that all the support to make sure that our students were feeling safe and comfortable going to class or not going to class, talking to us, and we make ourselves available all the time.
Okay, so now thank you so much. That was really great presentation on COVID because it sounds like your university and your school really did a lot of things, follow the protocol, CDC protocol and all that, and just like our university. So now you decide to apply to a university. So what do you need to consider? Um, what do you want to study, major? But just like Ms. Stark mentioned before, there are a lot of flexibility in American education. So it's not a locked in. Like in Asia, see, I was born in Taiwan, and growing up, once you decide which field to go to, and you just, that's it. You take the entrance examination, and then according to your scores, and you are sent to different fields of study that you chose beforehand. And once you get in there, you want to change fields, it's very, very difficult. But in the United States, sometimes students come in and they will say, you know, especially domestic students, what do you like to study is undecided, major undecided. So you can do that for even the first 2 years, and before the third year comes along, and that when you have to go into your major, you have to decide on your major. So then you have to also decide, well, how many schools I want to apply and how many application fees I can afford. And universities and colleges. Now, this is something that I like to share with our students. A lot of times students, when I go overseas, students will ask me, Mississippi College, is that a community college or is that a full 4-year university? And so I told them, yeah, Mississippi College is a 4-year university. We have 7 different schools. But since Mississippi College was founded 195 years ago, 5 more years, we're going to celebrate 200 years of our school anniversary. And so we, in old days, many schools start with the name with college because they start as a liberal arts college. And so you have Yale College, Harvard College, and even nowadays, as a brand name, Boston College, William Mary College, and a lot of these big universities, they still maintain and they still keep their name as college. And that's the same thing with Mississippi College. So in the United States, when you apply for universities, just because the university's name is college, then you should check into whether it's a community college or it's a four-year college. And also in the States, when we ask each other, or students ask each other, what school do you go to? We say, what school do you go to? Or what college do you go to? Very seldom you hear people say, what university do you go to? Now, international students have a tendency to say, what university are, but usually it's just, what school, this is a good school. It doesn't mean that's a primary school. It just, that's the general term we use. They're interchangeable: school, college, university. And so you can, a lot of options you can pick. And and also, this is a very important question you ask yourself: will I be happy in this field? Now, if you have a passion for a certain field, you will do well. If you don't, if you choose a field just because, hey, I can make a lot of money majoring in computer science or computer engineering, but you really don't have that passion, you're not really strong in math, or you're not really crazy about playing with figures and numbers and all that, your passion is language, your passion is art, then go for it. Go for something that you have a passion for, that you like, and you will be happy, and then you will do it really well. And because I have seen so many students, they pick certain field just because, well, that's a STEM program, and I'll have 3-year OPT, so I'm just going to go into it. One of the students who came to my office, and he's like major in computer science, but he had no interest in computer science. He's suffering. He's miserable, but and he is a senior and he's going to graduate. So I say, what's your plan after you graduate? He said, well, I think I just will continue to do graduate school in computer science. I say, why? Why do you want to do that? You don't like it. So then he said, well, because my parents want me to major, because they said it's easier to find a job. But you never know. If you're good at something, you will find a job. People will come after you because you will do it well. But if you have no interest, you just do a mediocre job, and people won't look at you, won't offer you great jobs. So afford the school. Can you afford? Be realistic about it. Okay, you look at all these schools, you say, oh, I really like this school. This is, so famous in my country. Everybody knows, this school, and I want to go to this school. Okay, well, look at you say, I want to go the top 100 in the world ranking, top 100 schools. Okay, but when you look into it, first of all, do you meet their standard? Do you meet their, and also at the same time, you have to think, usually they can be very expensive, and whether your GPA is high enough to get scholarship and all that. So all these things you have to take into consideration. Always find a best fit university. That university is that you can see yourself thrive in this university, and not just blindly believe that big name school is the best fit for me. And well, very unfortunate, I have 2 friends and their children went to a very big school, and they're so excited that they finally got accepted to go to this big name school, and the parents had money, and so they paid a lot of money. So 4 years later, after the girl graduated, she got bipolar. Because the 4-year experience at that elite big name university, it was not a good fit for her, and so the most important thing, okay, is you take these into consideration, okay, and so it is your choice or your parents' choice. These are good questions you have to ask yourself. And so later on, so you say, well, at the end of the day, I want job placement. I want to get a good job. So how do you find a good job? And the university 4 years is the time to uh, boost your critical thinking skills, okay, and problem solving skills. I often would tell my students, you're not in high school anymore, you're in college. And then if to my master or graduate students, I said, you are scholars now. You don't act like you're high school kid and need people to push you. You and also everything that you do, you gotta exercise your critical thinking. It's not like you're here, you just memorize everything, just memorize the book and have that, and you think that you can do the same thing as you did before. Um, when you go into the workforce, your employer is looking for a person who can think outside the box, a person have critical thinking. And when we have problems, you have the ability to solve the problem. And so, and you go to college, you are supposed to learn how to do research and how to, and the writing skills is extremely important. And to that will, well, and also verbal skill, how you express yourself. Um, and that is something that will get you hired, employed. And so, it, um, Christina, I think that you also
Oops,
have a lot
sorry.
to add, a
Yes.
few things to add to this.
Yeah, I think our schools, especially with the personal touch that we have, the close contact with our students, when you think about all the people that they will um, come in contact with, and the diversity on our campus, so it will really teach them how to critically think and solve problems, as they have to learn about different cultures, learn how to understand that there are differences, but also appreciate those differences. I
Yes.
think this is a great skill that you can have. Learning to live in a setting where you have all these different cultures and all these different things.
Mhm.
So it's very important to take advantage of everything and come to the international office as often as possible, because there's so much you can learn.
Mhm.
So I would like to just show a little bit about, speak a little bit about, oops, NMMI. I'm going too fast here. Okay, we are a land grant institution, so that can be translated into affordability. There is a lot of funds from the government coming into our schools, so our students have a what we call a land grant discount of over $20,000. So we are extremely affordable. Right now, we have 34 different countries represented in all 50 states in the United States. We have about 900 students on our school, and 25% of our students are international. The fact that we are a New Mexico military school does not mean that you have to go into the military. No, what it means is that we are a school that develop leadership and character. We have a very structured environment. So, and we are a boarding school. We have over 130 years of tradition. We are a co-ed school, so we have boys and girls, so female and male. We are the nation's largest junior military school. And we've been ranked number one by the boarding school reviews with teachers with advanced degrees. All of our um, teachers either have a master's or a PhD. So it's very important. Therefore, academics are rigorous, but very exciting. As I said, NMMI is a leadership development institute. So everything that we do, there is a leadership component to it. For example, um, when you go in the classroom, besides all the classes, the regular classes that any university or college would offer, NMMI offer all these classes, and on top of that, you have leadership classes. So you will learn the concepts of leadership. Once you're outside of the classroom, and again, because we are a military school, all of our students are called cadets. We wear uniforms, you learn how to march, you learn many things, but it's not because you're going to into the military. It's just because they are focusing on your leadership skills. So whenever you are outside of the classroom, you have the opportunity of focusing on your leadership skills. So we offer more than 300 leadership opportunities on our campus. What does that mean? It is like an internship. So you will be prepared to take care of, to be in a position where you can be responsible for um, maybe 5 people up to 900. So imagine you going to a job interview and they asking you about your experience and you share with them that you have uh, led 900 others. That is a huge skill that you'll take for the rest of your life. And also, we have a lot of focus on physical fitness because there are a lot of athletic opportunities um, at our campus. As I mentioned, the leadership aspect of our school, we have an area where it's a leadership challenge complex. So you focus on your leadership there. This is instructor, and these are all cadets, students who work there, and they will teach and mentor the younger ones in regards to their leadership skills. So, NMMI not only offers the leadership aspect, but also we offer anything that any other community college offers. We are a liberal arts school. So that's a time when you say, I want to be an engineer. So you start your core classes, your general education that you would start at any school, any huge, big name university, or a different, a not so well known school. But every school in the United States, the first 2 years, you would take general education. So this is a time that you can experiment. Let's say you want to be an engineer, then you start, but then you think, let me try that other class. So you try a different class, and maybe that's when you can change your major because you find your passion in a different field. We offer a career center on our school. uh, every student has an academic advisor. We have the tutoring for our students. We have a writing lab. All of our students are welcome to many of the college and university fairs that we promote on our campus. So other schools come and talk to us, and they are very interested in our students because they are extremely well prepared academically, but very well rounded. They know when it's time to play and when it's time to study. As services that we offer, we have airport pickup, we have an ongoing support for our students regarding their visas, transferring, and also OPT possibilities. At our school, we only accept F1 student visa for academic purposes. So, if you would like to learn more, please stop at our booth and you can always write to us, international at nmmi.edu. We'll be happy to talk to you. So, let's learn more about Mississippi College now.
Thank you. Yes, Mississippi College is was founded, like I mentioned before, 1826. So it's Mississippi's oldest university. This year is our 195th year. And we are also Mississippi's largest private university. We have 40, right now is about 4,300 because of COVID and it decreased a little bit, and about 125 international students from 42 different countries. And we offer more than 80 different areas of undergraduate study for bachelor degree, and then 50 plus area for master's and also doctor degree. And 4 Mississippi governors graduate from Mississippi College. Actually, the last governor, Phil Bryant, he got his MBA from Mississippi College. And so we have a lot of very famous alumni, and every year in April, actually this is the month, they will come back to the campus and they will have a scholarship banquet, and they will raise millions of dollars scholarship to help students. And so the tuition is very affordable for a private university because we don't charge international students out-of-state fee or out-of-country fee, and we charge American students and international students the same. And so that's why Money Magazine, they ranked MC number 12 on their list of 20 best private colleges for merit aid, and number 6 within their 25 most affordable universities.
Sorry.
And yeah, thank you. And then, and so like I mentioned before, we have 7 different schools. School of Business and is AACSB accredited, so that put our business school top 5% of the world business school. And a School of Christian Studies and Arts, and that includes graphic design and communication, all these other courses, and interior designs. And so School of Education, kinesiology is part of it. And we have also a STEM program under School of Education, and School of Humanities, Social Sciences, and School of Law. We have a separate campus for School of Law that's in the capital of Mississippi, that's Jackson. We are 20 minutes away from the capital. So if you want to enjoy the capital life and big city life, and then you go drive 20 minutes over there, and then if you want to study, you come back to Clinton, Mississippi, and that is like a college town, and very quiet and very safe. And it's conducive for getting your degree. And we have School of Nursing, and they really are helpful during COVID-19, giving us all kinds of tests and shots. And School of Science and Mathematics, we have pre-med, amazing pre-med programs, and also Master of Medical Sciences. We have students from all over the country, all over the world, walking on campus, studying our pre-med program and medical sciences. All the courses for pre-med and medical sciences, they're all taught, they're all taught just like in medical school. So they teach you, human growth anatomy, histology, and pharmacology, and all these courses. So they get you prepared to go to medical school. So yeah, you can see a picture here, and our Cadavers Lab. And usually you find Cadavers Lab only in medical school, but we are, I think, one of the 3 universities in the country that offer undergraduate students Cadavers Lab, have Cadavers Lab. And also American Medical Board allows Mississippi College undergraduate students to take shelf exam. And now shelf exam usually is is offered to medical school students. After you finish one discipline, they give you a shelf exam if you pass, and then you can move on to another discipline. But it's very, very challenging, very difficult test. My husband is a biology professor. He took that test and he said, well, I can vouch for that. It's hard exam. And so, but our undergraduate student, pre-med students are eligible to take that exam. You can imagine how rigorous the program is. So the bottom here with a lot of flags, that's our office of global education. And so we always call our office of global education your home away from home. Just like Ms. Stark said, always go to international office because you will learn a lot. Don't just say, well, I think I heard somebody said this, this and that, and then you just follow what other students said. But the thing is, you don't know whether the truth the truth is, and it's only used as a hearsay, and then you get misled. And that building is our administration building, and it's a very old building. We have a lot of old buildings. I mean, during Civil War, and they survived the fire of Civil War, and because they were about to, they burned a lot of buildings, but they saved these buildings because they're beautiful. And so we provide support system, just like Stark mentioned, her school, and that we have international student scholarship. We This is what we offer from our office. We offer, free tutorial services. Students have issues and they come to us, and we find free tutors for them, and also very good, excellent writing center for students, especially very helpful for international students while writing academic papers. We provide all international students conversation partners to improve their verbal proficiency. And we also have an International Student Association, ISA, and they offer all kinds of programs and activities to help international students. We also have a adopt a student host family program. All international students, when they come, we all match them with an American family and to help them. And so they feel, a lot of them say, "Wow, I'm not homesick anymore. I have American family. I have American mom and an American dad." So, Global Cafe Monthly, that's a platform for students to meet with the people in the community and also students on campus, American students. And every year we have international festivals, big festivals, to celebrate, highlight all our international students' respective cultures. And of course, CVIS, I'm a PDSO, so we just like Ms. Stark, we help our students advising F1, and we also have J1. And health clinic, house arrangement, and so on. And we offer, airport free pickup, orientation, welcome week is awesome. Students love that. And we also have a lot of alumni that volunteer to teach our students to drive if they want to get a driver's license, CPT, OPT, and that we provide all these services. Yeah, so that's it. I think we have limited time, so that's why I quickly run through this. And if you want to contact me, you can even contact through WhatsApp, and want to apply, and that's where you apply, gomc.edu apply. So, and you can see that, Mississippi, if you know how to spell Mississippi, then you get accepted.
I just want to hop in here and say you have about 2 minutes to answer some questions.
Uh-huh.
Do we have questions there?
I know there's one here that says, "Hello, I am an 18-year-old high school graduate from Botswana who is looking to study aerospace engineering in the USA under a generous, fully funded, need-based scholarship due to financial constraints. What opportunities are there for me considering that I am not able to take TOEFL, IELTS, also due to financial constraints?"
Yeah, I
Wow.
think.
Long question there.
Well, our university, we don't offer full ride, full scholarship, but our scholarship is stackable, and so students, if you want to apply for academic scholarship, I would advise you to take ACT, SAT, and we do offer you scholarship based on your SAT, ACT score. But we don't require ACT, SAT to get you admitted. Once you're admitted, once you're enrolled, all international students, undergraduate students will get $4,000 scholarship, and graduate students will get $3,000 scholarship a year. So, and but if you said, well, I want more money, then go ahead and take an SAT, ACT, and that will get you up to 12,500. And so, yeah.
Another thing that I think in regards to test, if you feel like maybe it's a little too much for you, make sure you check on the Education USA if, offices in your area. They
Mhm,
are very supportive, and many times they will pay for your tests.
mhm,
So they will give you the opportunity to take a test sponsored by them, and then so you can have the opportunity to come to study in the USA.
mhm, mhm. That's right. And Duolingo is much cheaper, and
Very
I think
affordable.
it's 40 some dollars, and
$49.
yeah, $49, right? And
Yes.
then you can find out your result in 24 hours or
Hmm.
48 hours. Very, very easy. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, great. So that's all the time we have. Thank you so much. I always love to have you both on the platform and on my calls.
Mhm.
Such great experts in the field as well.
Thank,
Thank you
And
so
I'm
much.
sure everyone here has learned a thing or two about what their next steps are with their education. So, with that being said, you can check out the New Mexico Military Institute and the Mississippi College uh, booth in the exhibit hall
right.
for there's about an hour left in the fair. So, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye,
Thank
Thank
everyone.
you
you.
so much.
Bye.
Bye bye.